Hi everyone, I'm Megan and this is Beguiled by Books, a community of book lovers and word nerds. Today I'm sharing my February 2025 reading wrap up. Let's get started. Before we dive in, a quick reminder to jump down to the description or the pinned comment and sign up for early access to information about my upcoming course called The Growth Library, a book-based blueprint to wisdom and well-being. This course is going to be really fabulous. It's distilling 12 science-heavy nonfiction books into the actionable insights you know so that you can shortcut your way to success. Definitely go and check it out and sign up when you can. Also, don't forget that I've got reading guides available on my website for your next book club discussion to help lead those questions and help spark lots of wonderful discussion at your book club. So check those out as well. Now, let's talk about the February 2025 reading wrap up. It was a short month, and I read 7 books in February. That might seem like a lot, might not seem like a lot, depending on who you are, but it was a really chaotic month for me. I had some certification things I did for my career. I traveled to Denver for a week with my hubby for some fun, and I did not read as much as I'd wanted to, but I still managed to get 7 books done, which I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for. I read the book Dreadful, and this was such a cute, fun little book. Dreadful is all about a very dark, evil, bad, mean wizard man who loses his memories in a spell gone wrong and wakes up and has no idea who he is or why he is the way he is. So when the evil dark wizard decides he wants to maybe be a little nicer, a little kinder, a little bit good, the whole area is just thrown off. All of his colleagues and other dark wizards are completely flabbergasted by this development, and chaos, of course, ensues. It's a delightful, fun little book. I really liked it, and I think you should put it on your TBR. I got an advanced copy of a book called Language and Life on Ocracoke, and Ocracoke is an island on the coast of North Carolina, kind of sort of close to where I'm from. I also grew up on the coast of North Carolina. And Ocracoke is really unique because it's only accessible by ferry. And it's a really great, untouched little island and kind of sort of unaffected by a lot of modern day changes. Given that it's only accessible by ferry, it's not easy to get Amazon 2-day shipping to them. A lot of things there are still very local fresh seafood, a lot of handcrafted items. There's a great community on the island because all the neighbors help one another out no matter the situation. And I was super excited to learn more about the language and the dialect that's developed specifically on this little island because it's a very old school, very classic Eastern North Carolina brogue. And a lot of people have told tales that it's the closest thing in existence to Shakespearean English or Elizabethan English, things like that. The dialect has evolved over time, and the linguists who have studied this dialect wrote a book all about how this has evolved and the people and the community and the culture on Ocracoke Island. It's a really niche, specific book, but I loved it and I loved getting a little taste of my hometown, from this book after having moved away so many years ago. I read a book called Committed on Meaning and Mad Women, and this book was not uplifting, I would say, but it's a really important memoir to read because their author spent her early 20s in a psychiatric facility in New York City. And that lent itself to her whole perspective on creative writing, on her approach to the world, because she really took that to be what does it mean when women are called crazy? Why are women called crazy? Why do they reach a breaking point? And is it internal? Is it external? Is it a combination of the two? It's a fascinating look on the impact societal beliefs have on women, specifically Western women in this context. And it was just a really powerful story. It's going to stay with me for a long time, but it is heavier. So if you're looking for a light read, maybe not. I got an advanced copy of a short story by Alex E. Harrow, one of my favorite authors, called The Knight and the Butcher Bird. This book was delightful. In a post-apocalyptic US, there are knights who fight demons, and our main character is interacting with a demon fighting knight in a really interesting way to learn a little bit more about the why he does what he does and how he survived so long with these demons. And the demons are not what you think they are. And this was both a prophetic story and also a fun escape. It was one of those that really toes that line of, could this be a thing that happens? And then you're like, nah, that's not something I'm going to worry about, but it stays with you. And I really liked this short story. It packs a punch in a few number of pages, so go out there and check it out. I had the absolute pleasure of reading the book Annie Bot, and I'm so grateful to my mother-in-law who let me borrow her copy because I just hadn't been able to pull the trigger on purchasing this book because it was such an unknown. And it ended up being probably my favorite book of the month. And this book, Annie Bot, does such a great job of illustrating what so many women feel and experience in their lives of this incessant need to please whomever they're with, whether that's a partner, a boss, a whatever, a parent, a friend, it doesn't matter. There is this innate drive in a lot of women that I've met that need to please others before pleasing themselves. And Annie Bot takes this and turns this on its head as an AI robot who develops more sentience over time and starts to have free will and choices. Absolutely excellently written book, beautiful plot. Loved the character development in this, and I can't wait for you to read it. Let me know what you think. I read a brand new book that came out called The Serviceberry by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and this is another short book coming in at just under 125 pages. The Serviceberry is written by one of my favorite authors, Robin Wall Kimmerer, who wrote Braiding Sweetgrass. This book takes Robin's experience as someone who was gathering berries with her neighbor in this abundant, fruitful moment and said, this is the problem with society. The land can be abundant and asks nothing back, and yet we don't take care of it. People can have abundance and they don't reciprocate. How can we change this dynamic in our society? It's a beautiful story. It will give you a lot to think about in our present political climate, all of the things that are going on, regardless of your belief system. It will give you a lot to think about how we interact with others as humans and that abundance versus scarcity mindset. So definitely check out The Serviceberry. It's worth the read. It's a short book. You can read it in like an hour, 2 hours, something like that. Check it out. I received an advance copy of a book called Reset by Dan Heath when someone, a marketer on Instagram, reached out to me to see if I would like to read this book. And given that it's all about organizational systems and organizational behavior, it's right up my alley. This nonfiction book takes a hard look at how your business is running. And not even your business, it could be parts of your personal life. It's through the lens of a company or a business and dives into the systems, decisions, functions, and theories that are often very esoteric and hard to wrap your arms around, but it does so in such a great way where it's easy to digest and easy to apply to your life. I really liked the examples Dan Heath used throughout the book to illustrate his points on waste, on efficiency, on improvements, because there are things that we think we're good at. We think we're good at driving efficiency, but if we're not questioning why we do the things we do or how long have these things been done, are these actions still needed, we may be missing some really big drivers of success and profitability in business. So it's a really great look. And like I said, you can apply this to lots of areas in your life, like how to get the kids to eat dinner or what to do on the weekends with the family. Really cool stuff, and the writing is quippy and punchy and fun and easy to read. So definitely recommend Reset by Dan Heath. What did you read in February? What books should I be adding to my TBR? Please drop a comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, if you found a book you want to read, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Check out that description and pinned comment for links to both my upcoming course, The Growth Library, as well as your latest book club reading guides. And I hope you have a phenomenal day.